We're working on RUSS CAMERER'S Seydel Symphony. We have some Breathsaver issues, and we'll work on them together here. I have my various tools laid out. First thing is I have to prepare the reed plate. You can see there's some discoloration with the glue here. We need to get that off. My preferred method is to use a collar stiffener to scratch it off, because it leaves no scratches on the reed plate. I have a small screwdriver here, and I can just work it a little bit to make sure I've gotten off any residue. Same thing on the other reed plate. Complete brand new reed plate set. Breathsaver set. And I have a razor blade here to open it up. This is what a factory set of Breathsavers look like. They're always protected in cardboard. And, hole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Okay, so I take a look at what we have here. And I have two of the longest ones here, and oftentimes you can take them just to see, in fact, are they the right size. And I would say it's always an astute move to check. Open this up. I come in. Right now, I'm just going to set aside the Breathsavers. I use the collar stiffener to go in and to fish some out. They're rather hard to manage, actually. There's 1 and 2. We get them back into the package now, so that they'll be in safe. The next one, so we've taken care of those. Then I have number 3 here. I'd like to check and make sure that that is in fact the right length. it is. So I'm coming in 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to see, is that really what I want to use? Yeah. I'm trying one a little longer. See if I might prefer it. I don't think so. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I only need one of these. And I'm going to check to make sure that does fit perfectly. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have this one and this one. Then I have that one. Then I have number 5, which is here, and that is a number 5. So I come here, and by the way, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 number 5s. They should be oriented properly. So I'm going to put there, that like that one. I have those two go like that. Then I have that one. Then I have those two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 5s. And how about 2 6s? Fair enough. Let's come here. No. That's, oh boy. Sometimes these are not made properly and they have to be fixed. This doesn't have quite enough of a clean. In other words, the top layer should not extend too far. There we go. In other words, there's 2 layers on these things. There's the clear layer on top that provides down pressure, and then there's the Teflon. And they're not always made perfectly, and sometimes you can get into a situation where there isn't quite enough of the clear one cut away. It shouldn't come all the way to the end. It should be about 1 millimeter to 1.5 millimeters. So if it's not right, I have to get in there and fix it. That way they'll lift easier. You don't really want the clear on the whole length. Okay, so we know that we have 1, 2. Then we have 1 sitting alone. That's this one. These two go here and here, and those two go here and here. So we have them laid out and ready to go. We're only going to work one reed plate at a time. And so in this case, I know I'm going to be doing that one, and I'm going to be doing that one of these, and one of these. These guys can back out. So you want these all ready to go. Let us hope that we can actually get this stuff to work. I did. That's great. It did seal. This is older stuff. It's still workable. A very carefully prepared toothpick that's been ground. And I'm going to go ahead and apply a very small amount of crazy glue just in the position it needs to go. All right. Number one. I lay the bottom part here, lay it down, press to hold, make sure it's attached, come up, hold it to the light, and make sure it's perfectly aligned. If it's not, it needs to come over just a little. All right, so by looking through the light, I can see that the slits are in perfect position. Okay. Now I have this one. Same method. That looks like a good one. Perfect. You have about 3 seconds from the time you touch it to the reed plate to make absolutely sure you're in perfect position. Bring it down just the slightest amount. Now, unfortunately, that was a bad application, and this one is not going to be able to stay on there. Oh well. Oh, now I have to see, was that the same size as that one? It was. Try it again. It wasn't quite long enough. In other words, it didn't quite provide the coverage to the end that it needed. It's just an application error. And unfortunately, that's a fairly common mistake. Now, okay. And we come over here and we know that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has to be repicked. And this is for number 5. I believe that's that length. It is. You know, you're going to make some mistakes when you put them down. I mean, I don't care how good you are at this. It is a very ticklish process, and you just can't make any mistakes. 1, 2, 3. Now, I'll show you what happened. It covered the end of the reed slot, but it was a little too close. It needed just a little bit more overhang, and you really need to be sure when you're doing this that you're doing it 100% right. Now I'm going to have to rework the toothpick, because once they've got dry glue on them, they don't work well anymore. You've got it, kind of has to suck up some of that glue. Now you'll see that I am still able to work with the glue itself. I spin this around into the correct position. I go here, 1 drop of glue, 2 drops of glue, oops. Reapplication of glue. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up. Perfect. So I set the overhang, then I drop it into position, and you can see it twisted out of position in this instance. And let's take a look and see if I've lucked out, or I have not lucked out. That's actually a nicely put down Breathsaver. That's the nice thing about crazy glue. You don't use a lot of the glue, and it's just not that big a deal if you have to wiggle it around. Okay. Whew. Now, this is dangerous stuff. Cryoanalytic acid, or the compound, which is crazy glue. You don't want to be breathing that ever. So what makes this job tough is of course, you have to have a 100% adequate preparation of your surface. but they have to be in the exact right position. And I will mention to you, if somebody tells you that you don't need, by the way, it's normal that would not have a breath saver, and oftentimes that won't either, but they all need to be on there. Anybody that tells you they don't, they're wrong. The harp note will not play the same as the others if it doesn't have its breath saver. And the breath saver must be absolutely correct. It can't be too far over one way or another, or it will hit the comb channel sides and hang up. So that's quite important. So I'm just going to flip this over and give it a quick eyeball. That one is prepared and ready to go and approved. And this one here, it was an outside. I have here's this and this and this. Want to make sure they're all lying flat. They are. And let's see, I guess this one is correct. Is that correct? It's a little cockeyed, but it's not going to affect, it's not much cockeyed. Look on the other side here. That completes the job. Tools. A razor blade to open this stuff up, a teeny screwdriver to scrape the reed plate, a file to clean up the toothpick end, crazy glue, a dental probe to get in and clean the reed slot, the collar stiffener is here, and a pair of precision scissors so that you can clip off these breath savers. A lot of times you won't have a set of breath savers from the factory. You may have just the long ones, and you'll have to make every different size. That happens. These should always be taped on their open side. These are again the holder for the breath savers. These are the tools, and of course I always work on wood, because if you try and work on glass or any other surface, it could slide around, but it's not, there's a little bit of stiction to wood, and it needs to be clean. It also will not damage the reed plates at all. That harp could be put together now because this stuff dries so quickly. I'm going to give it a little time, but it doesn't, that's just because that's as much as I'm going to do. That's the story.